Well, folks, today is Friday, March 22nd, 2024. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, here to talk about all the video game news that's been going on this week. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. There's a lot of games releasing, a lot of things to play, a lot of things to chat about, specifically around Dragon's Dogma 2, which has been making headlines since this morning. I woke out of bed to realize that people were pretty pissed about the game's release and how now there are microtransactions in the game. This is something that I guess a lot of people were caught off guard by. It was unexpected. It wasn't really mentioned in most reviews. And it seems like Capcom just dropped them in last minute. And these microtransactions aren't just cosmetic skins. They're weird little things to help the game, currencies, fast travel items, stuff like that. And it's been rubbing people the wrong way. And I'd say rightfully so. People are taking to Steam to voice their opinions with that. But also don't get that mixed up with the fact that there are apparently some performance issues on PC. And the game being limited to one save slot or one character that has been really frustrating people. And that is a shame because otherwise it seems like it is a pretty sweet game. I didn't do the before you buy for this one. I was working on Rise of the Ronin, but our before you buy video is pretty positive. It's just the age-old things that are getting in the way. Number one, a Capcom PC port, which happens a lot, but also the console not having the greatest frame rate as well, and then the microtransaction stuff. It's a tale as old as time. At this point, it's almost like you expect it, and I think that's a bummer. With the microtransactions in particular, it's almost like we almost got just a perfect, regular, old-fashioned, single-player RPG adventure game. That cost full price, but then, of course, they had to also throw in that. Some people don't really care about that stuff too much. Personally, I do. And yeah, vote with your wallet. That's what we can do here. Capcom did acknowledge the technical issues, and they're working to fix some things. And then the microtransactions, they kind of just gave a statement that was sorry for the inconvenience, which... If you don't care and you are still jumping into that this weekend, I would like to hear what you think. But either way, let me know how you're feeling on this one. In other news that I thought was actually pretty cool, some positive news, even though it doesn't sound positive, is that we're not getting Baldur's Gate 4. Yeah, Larian Studios, the developers behind it, and their head, Sven, went on record at GDC stating they are not making Baldur's Gate 4. Not only are they not making Baldur's Gate 4, but they're not working on Baldur's Gate 3 DLC or an expansion or anything like that. They're done. That's it. And you know what? I like that. I think in a world where things are just constantly getting brought back, revived, rebooted, dragged out, extended for too long, TV shows that go on far beyond when they should have ended. For these people to just make something good, put it out, be confident, and just know how great it is, and just walk away from that, that's pretty cool. I'd like to see that more. And they know what they're doing. I mean, Sven also went on record during GDC and stuff talking about how corporate greed has kind of ruined the making of video games for some people, and they're trying to go against that, buck that trend. Now, as of what they're actually working on next, we don't know for sure, but they gave quotes to GameSpot and stuff. I'll link all of this stuff in the description down below, but they're not making a Divinity Original Sin 3 or something like that, and they're not making a Baldur's Gate 3. They're working on some new IP, and it's going to be a big RPG. That's about all we got, but it kind of is expected from them. Very excited to see what that is, because how do you top Baldur's Gate 3? Also, with that, Baldur's Gate is technically owned by Wizards of the Coast, so they could always take that brand and find a different developer to make a Baldur's Gate 4. So there still very well could be a Baldur's Gate 4, but without Larian behind the helm. But that's a risky proposition. So we'll see how crazy they are in the future. Along with that, just a quick update, some headlines that were made about the Max Payne 1 and 2 remake. I know I just talked about things being brought back, rebooted, revitalized a million times. Max Payne being remade is something that we know. It's going to be Max Payne 1 and 2, remade by Remedy, backed by Rockstar in a partnership thing. And now, according to the head of Remedy, considerable progress has been made from the last year since we've really kind of heard from it. And we also now know that the game is going to have roughly the same budget as Alan Wake 2. For a remake, I guess that's pretty good, but I do wonder if in that budget they're going to have room to release it physically, because they didn't do that for Alan Wake 2. The quote is, Max Payne 1 and 2 Remake is going to be a major new game with great potential, enabled by similar development budget as Alan Wake 2. This scares me, because this sounds like they're going all in on totally remaking this thing. And I'm going to be that annoying guy for a second, because for me personally, games like Max Payne and the original Metal Gear Solid are like my sacred cows. These things that I feel like are very hard to replicate now. I'm glad it's some of the same people working on it, but like, let's see how this one goes. I will take this soapbox for a second just to say, and I've spoken to some people through like DMs and stuff, that you should still go and play the original Max Payne 1 and 2, and definitely 3, sure, because they are accessible, they're easy to download and play, and they still play pretty well. I don't think they're outdated at all, and the mod community really helped do some fun things with the first game in particular. There are literally no other video games like the original Max Payne games, so yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Speaking of weird-ass games, Alpha Protocol. This is the Obsidian game that a lot of people forgot about. What if Obsidian made an RPG, but instead of a knight or a wizard, you're a secret agent? It was a really, really cool idea. The game was a bit of a mess. It was really weird, but it received kind of like a cult following status over many years. But the game had been delisted. It was published by Sega and was kind of just like not out there. But now, thankfully, it's back thanks to GOG. So it's available. They fixed some things. There's new achievements. And I just kind of wanted to mention this because Alpha Protocol is just a weird, fascinating thing in gaming history. And I'm glad that it's available for people to get into again.
Now jumping over here real quick to talk about the sponsor of today's video, it's NordVPN. Now, if you're new here, NordVPN has been our #1 thing we install on all of our machines at gameranx, at the office, at my home here for online security. With NordVPN, you switch it on and you're protected, and all of your data stays safe behind a wall of next-generation encryption, but there's actually a lot of fun you can have with a VPN. If you shop online for stuff a lot at a time, some online shops and stores, prices vary by region. So believe it or not, by switching on NordVPN and changing your location, you can potentially open yourself up to access to different prices from different regions. You know, maybe you're trying to go on a big trip or something like that. You may find cheaper airline tickets, or if you're shopping for games on a third-party site, there's a lot of potential. For me now, it's a habit. I have NordVPN on my phone, and anytime I'm buying something, I switch on a VPN first to see if I can get anything better. And of course, you may not know this, but the various streaming sites and platforms often have different movies and shows in different regions. So by switching on NordVPN to one of those locations, you can potentially get access to more entertainment. NordVPN is super easy to download and set up on all of your devices and machines, and it's risk-free thanks to a 30-day money-back guarantee. So right now you can get an exclusive deal and 4 additional months when you go to click our link in the description down below. It's nordvpn.com/gameranx. It's the best deal you can get NordVPN on the internet. That's nordvpn.com/gameranx. And with that being said, thanks again to NordVPN for sponsoring this video.
Next up, some news in the PlayStation world. The first thing making headlines is analysts saying that Sony has not been selling through all of the PlayStation VR 2 units that they manufactured, so they are kind of slowing down production of those things. The quote is, and I'll link it, Sony has temporarily paused production on the PlayStation VR 2 headset due to oversupply. A lot of people are already using that to spell doom and gloom for the PSVR 2. I wouldn't count it out just yet. It still is expensive, but I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Sony leadership is changing, so it's still up in the air for me personally. But in other news, we got a new leak for PS5 Pro specs. Seems like more and more, yes, this is definitely a thing. And the specs I am going to show on screen here. Andrew, can you put the PS5 Pro specs here, like a thing?
You got it.
Thank you. Is it here?
It's there.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. The gist of it for the layman is like the same CPU, but with some modifications. You're not going to believe this. More teraflops. We also got more teraflops here. Almost double the compute units, slightly faster memory. So take this all with a grain of salt. This is, of course, leaks, and this was also corroborated by Insider Gaming as well. Seemingly, it's going to result in, according to Digital Trends, about a 45% rendering performance boost over the regular PS5. I wonder if there's going to be some interesting other bells and whistles or software tweaks in there. There is also speculation about like a PlayStation version of DLSS, like upscaling, like AI upscaling type of thing. So more definitely needs to be revealed, but these sources are speculating that this might be here this holiday season, holiday 2024. Are you tired yet? We will see where that goes, but next up, I want to link some things in the description down below for you to check out. The first is Resident Evil 2 Remake with PS1 graphics. Now, we've seen types of things like this before, but this actually keeps the newer third-person style, but with PS1 graphics, and this is via Rustic Games BR, and I just loved this little prototype. This is really, really cool. I think just because I very specifically love that style and feel of like the Resident Evil 2, 3 graphics. Along with that, linking some stuff we did this week. I did the before you buy for Rise of the Ronin and Alone in the Dark. I've been a very busy little gamer boy. Those are games worth checking out, despite having some flaws. And then Eric, our writer, and Falcon did the before you buy for Dragon's Dogma 2. I put this out on social media. I can't do every game at once anymore, so I need Falcon and Eric to kind of like take on some of the load. So please enjoy that video. But yeah, along with that, I did want to link a trailer for this really, really cool game. Check out the graphics here. Check out this visual style. This is Halibut. This is a smaller independent game that has been in the works for many, many years. It is more of like a narrative thing. It's not like a platformer or anything like that. But it is finally out April 16th of this year. And just look at that style. That shit is crazy. Now, I get why it took so long. I am definitely interested in this for like the presentation, the visuals, or if anything else. Hope it's cool. Also, last but certainly not least, GDC had a big State of Unreal thing. We got new looks at Unreal Engine 5 and what they're doing, but the big graphical showcase for Unreal Engine 5 was actually a game reveal. It's the Black Panther Captain America game that was teased last year or so ago that we knew about, but now it's officially titled 1943 Rise of Hydra. This trailer and all this stuff, and like they showed us a whole scene at GDC, is apparently rendered in game, which is absolutely wild. My alarm bells, I get skeptical of that. So visually, we'll see how it actually shakes out, but it is from Skydance and Amy Hennig, the like legendary game developer, like Legacy of Kain, stuff like that, the Uncharted series. Are you kidding me? So there's that. And then it's got World War II like era Captain America. It's got a Black Panther with a cape, which is extremely cool. It's T'Challa's grandfather here, and it's also framed around a Howling Commandos character, as well as like a Wakandan super spy lady. So there's that. I am very much interested in this as somebody who is very specifically into like the Brubaker Captain America comics, and this just feels right from how they're showing like Captain America, like my Captain America from the comics. I don't know. It's really cool. It's really flashy. The graphics are like amazing, at least what we've seen here. And of course, the setting, the concept, really cool stuff. You have Black Panther versus Captain America, but there's still so many questions, dude. Like, what is this game actually going to be like? Is it really going to look that good? We don't know for sure, but at least now we know a little bit more of an idea on how they're making the game, the tech behind it. The GDC talk, which we will link in the description down below, is very interesting. Andrew told me to watch it. I actually missed it, but thank you, dude.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so check that out. Again, lots more questions about this game, but you get to have Captain America and Black Panther punching each other, which is always cool. But there you have it. A lot to cover this week. A lot of gaming news stuff. So I do want to hear from you guys in the comments. What has been interesting you the most? As well as in the pinned comment, just in that thread, drop what you're playing this weekend. Are you jumping into like Dragon's Dogma despite the issues? Are you more interested in Rise of the Ronin, which I am going to continue playing this weekend? Something older, something newer? Let's talk in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about the news stories, the PS5 Pro specs, the Captain America, World War II, Black Panther game, the fact that Larian isn't going to make a Baldur's Gate 3 expansion, DLC, or sequel. Let's talk about this stuff down there. I want to hear from you guys. You can also, of course, always find me on my YouTube channel, Jake Baldino, as well as all the social media places at Jake Baldino. But that's it. Have a great weekend, guys. Be safe. Be well. I'm Jake Baldino. Pizza's on me.